APR plus $17.50 bonus cash or up to $37.50 total savings. Hurry in today.
Tonight, the White House responds to Stormy Daniels, now saying the president does not believe any of the claims Ms. Daniels made last night are accurate. Was she threatened in a parking lot to stay silent? And did the money she was given 11 days before the election break any campaign finance laws? And this evening, the response from First Lady Melania Trump. Also tonight, President Trump expelling 60 Russians, giving them 1 week after that nerve agent attack in the UK. Russia tonight threatening to retaliate. The stunning new findings from inside that helicopter that went down in the East River here in New York City. What the pilot was trying to do. We have new reporting tonight what authorities have now revealed about the family of 4 on vacation, discovered dead in a condo they had rented. What we've now learned. Is Facebook tracking your phone calls and your text messages? Tonight, the federal investigation and what you can do to find out if your calls have been logged and how to stop it. And falling from the sky, the out-of-control space station now hurtling toward Earth. And authorities say beware, some of that debris could make it here.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with you. It was the interview the White House knew was coming, and more than 20 million people watched it. And tonight, the White House is now responding to Stormy Daniels after she spoke about her alleged affair with the president, describing what she says was a threat from a stranger in a parking lot who approached her about staying silent and answering questions about the money she received just 11 days before the election to keep quiet. Tonight, what the White House is now saying, and did that money just days before voters went to the polls break the law? Here's ABC's chief national correspondent, Tom Llamas, tonight.
Tonight, the White House refusing to say whether President Trump watched that Stormy Daniels interview. But they were clear about one thing. The porn star is not telling the truth.
The president doesn't believe that any of the claims that Ms. Daniels made last night in the interview are accurate.
More than 20 million people tuned in to watch those claims. Daniels declaring she had sex with Mr. Trump back in 2006, that he invited her to his hotel suite and showed her a magazine cover with his face on it.
And so I was like, does this normally work for you? And he looked very taken back. And I was like, someone should take that magazine and spank you with it. And I'll never forget the look on his face. So he turned around and pulled his pants down a little. You know, he had underwear on and stuff, and I just gave him a couple swats.
Daniels says the future president was taken with her.
He's like, wow, you are special. You remind me of my daughter. You know, he's like, you're smart, beautiful, and a woman to be reckoned with. I like you. I like you.
She says they then had sex, the one and only time.
You were 27, he was 60. Were you physically attracted to him?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Did you want to have sex with him?
No. But I didn't say no. I'm not a victim. I'm not.
It was entirely consensual?
Oh, yes. Yes.
In 2011, Daniels tried to sell her story to a tabloid for $15,000, but the magazine never published it, and she never got paid. That same year, Daniels says she was physically threatened, approached by a man in a parking lot when she was with her baby.
A guy walked up on me and said to me, leave Trump alone, forget the story. And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, it's a beautiful little girl, it'd be a shame if something happened to her mom. And then he was gone.
She claims the scary encounter is one reason she signed a $130,000 non-disclosure agreement with the president's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, just 11 days before the election. Cohen says he was acting on his own, but during the negotiation, he used his Trump Organization email address, and Daniels' lawyer sent documents to Cohen's office in Trump Tower. The White House says the president himself didn't know about the payment.
I can say categorically that obviously White House didn't engage in any wrongdoing. The campaign or Mr. Cohen can address anything with respect to their actions.
So far, the president hasn't mentioned Daniels by name. But this morning, he tweeted, so much fake news. Never been more voluminous or more inaccurate. But through it all, our country is doing great. He returned to the White House alone last night, the First Lady and their son remaining in Palm Beach. Today, the First Lady's spokesperson telling ABC News she is focused on being a mom and is quite enjoying spring break at Mar-a-Lago while working on future projects.
All right, a couple of breaking developments on this tonight. Tom is with us, and Michael Cohen's lawyer is now sending a cease and desist letter to Stormy Daniels over those accusations that she was physically threatened in that parking lot.
That's right, David. Now, David Cohen says Daniels' attorney implied he was behind that threat in Las Vegas. What Daniels' lawyer actually said is that interview was the president and Cohen have used thuggish behavior, and it's no different than what happened in that parking lot.
And we know that Stormy Daniels is suing to void this non-disclosure agreement, but now she claims that it broke campaign finance law.
Yeah, and this just happened today. They amended that just today. Daniels' attorney amended the lawsuit, arguing the $130,000 payoff from Michael Cohen, which happened just days before the election, was essentially an illegal campaign contribution. They're also now claiming defamation because Cohen has insinuated publicly that Stormy Daniels is lying about that affair when she says everything she said so far is the truth, David.
All right, Tom Yamas leading us off. Tom, thank you. President Trump, meanwhile, expelling 60 Russians from the U.S. They've been given a week to get out. It follows, of course, Britain's move and several other countries after that nerve agent attack on a former Russian spy and his daughter. Russians here in the U.S. with suitcases getting into vans here in New York City today. And tonight, Russia is now vowing to retaliate. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega.
In his toughest action against the Kremlin to date, President Trump today ordered 60 Russians to leave the country, giving them just a week to pack up and go. The intelligence and diplomatic officers expelled from Washington and New York, a Russian consulate in Seattle also shuttered. A direct response to Moscow's alleged nerve agent poisoning of a former Russian spy and his daughter on British soil.
3 weeks passed between the attacks and the expulsions. What took so long?
Well, I mean, actions like this take time, and we coordinated with, again, over a dozen allies.
The president has acknowledged Russia's role.
It's a very sad situation. It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it, something that should never, ever happen.
But just days later, he called Vladimir Putin to praise him for winning re-election.
I had a call with President Putin and congratulated him on the victory, his electoral victory.
The Washington Post reports the president ignored advisors who suggested he condemn Putin for the UK poison attack during that call. The two leaders on the phone the same day Britain sent 23 diplomats home on a flight from London to Moscow. Now, at least 20 nations expelling more than 100 Russian diplomats. The White House today pressed on why the president's own words don't seem to match his administration's aggressive actions.
The president wants to work with Russia, but their actions sometimes don't allow that to happen.
All right, so let's get to Cecilia Vega. She's live at the White House tonight. And Cecilia, the Russian foreign minister today vowing retaliation, saying the unfriendly move by the group of countries will not go unnoticed and we will respond to it.
Yeah, David, and I asked the White House about that today. Deputy Press Secretary Raj Shah tells me that the ball is in Russia's court when it comes to how they want to respond. But the big question tonight, will President Trump still sit down for that face-to-face with Vladimir Putin? The White House says he wants to. No date yet set. David.
Cecilia Vega starting another week at the White House. Thank you, Cecilia. The FBI responding at this hour to multiple reports of suspicious packages sent to military installations around the nation's capital. ABC News confirming tonight one of those suspicious packages was sent to Fort Belvoir. The FBI continuing to investigate those packages tonight, and we will stay on it. In the meantime, we move this evening to new reporting about the final moments before that helicopter crashed into the East River here in New York City. 5 passengers lost their lives, as you'll remember, and tonight, what the pilot was trying to do as that helicopter began to sink. Here's ABC senior transportation correspondent David Curley tonight.
With no power, the pilot of this New York sightseeing helicopter tries to restart the engine twice.
Zerly Motel, mayday, mayday, mayday.
This was a photo flight, doors off, some passengers on tethers to allow movement. As the passenger next to the pilot leans to take a shot of his feet out the door, the chopper loses power. Ditching in the East River, the pilot moves to shut off the fuel line near the floor, but it's already shut off. The pilot telling NTSB investigators he saw the passenger's tether strap under the switch, which was pulled up into the off position. He turned the fuel back on and restarted the engine, but there wasn't enough time to get power.
The way that they designed that emergency fuel shutoff should have never been so easy to access by somebody else other than the pilot.
5 passengers who had been briefed on how to cut themselves out of their restraints died. The pilot says he tried to unbuckle the passenger in the front, but once he was fully submerged, he got out of the sinking helicopter. It was an off-the-shelf carabiner like this, locking the passenger's tether. The pilot says he turned the screw 2 or 3 times, but could not unlock it. The FAA has said since the tragedy, only quick-release devices can be used in helicopters for sightseeing with the doors off. David?
A big change after that crash. All right, David, thank you. Next tonight to that vacation horror story. The family of 4 discovered dead in the condo that they had rented in Mexico. The family was from Iowa. They had texted their grandmother early on in the trip saying they had arrived, but she never heard from them again. Tonight here, what the autopsy now reveals. And here's ABC's Victor Akendo.
Tonight, officials now saying a gas leak is likely responsible for the death of an Iowa family of 4 vacationing in a Mexican condo. Firefighters can be seen here examining pipes for the cause. Now, a Mexican prosecutor saying that the water heater was leaking gas, maybe from use or lack of maintenance. Kevin Sharp, his wife Amy, and their children Sterling and Adriana letting family know they'd arrived safely, texting their grandmother, "We made it to condo." The grandmother responding, "Good, I bet kids are excited." It was the last time they would be heard from.
When they found them, both kids looked like they were watching TV and the parents were in the bed watching TV.
The Sharps renting the space through the website VRBO, the company telling ABC News they do not represent the owner of the condo and have now removed the property from our site. The tragedy raising concerns over the safety of vacation rentals.
The fact is that when you stay in somebody else's home, whether it's a rental or even if you're just visiting friends, you don't get the same safety precautions or protections that you have in a hotel room.
But this is growing in popularity, and so Victor joins us live because, Victor, some authorities are now suggesting that if you are staying in a rental on vacation, that there are precautions you can take.
David, some experts say you should go as far as bringing your own carbon monoxide and smoke detector with you when you travel. They also recommend go ahead and checking to see what kind of safety equipment, fire extinguishers, or alarms that rental has. David?
Victor, thank you. Overseas tonight, we are following what could be a developing headline involving North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. This video, what is reportedly Kim Jong-un's motorcade under heavy security, speeding through the streets of Beijing. It would be the first time Kim has left North Korea since taking over as the Hermit Kingdom's dictator in 2011. The trip would serve as an opportunity for China to offer input before Kim's highly anticipated face-to-face with President Trump. President Trump has said he wants that to happen before the end of May. And from Russia tonight, the heartbreaking toll from a fire inside a shopping mall. Families and children trapped, many of them watching a movie inside that mall right there. Tonight, questions about whether security guards fled when the flames broke out. Here's ABC's James Longman tonight.
The cries of terrified children. "Mama, help me, what is happening?" the voices cry. An investigation underway tonight into how a fire ripped through this mall in a frozen part of eastern Russia Sunday. At least 64 dead, as many as 40 could be children. This is my daughter, Svetlana. She's 5, this man says. She and her brother both gone. Confusion reigned. Officials say fire alarms were turned off and emergency exits blocked. This 11-year-old risking life to escape death. He survived the fall. His entire family died inside. Most of the children were in a movie theater at the time. According to local reports, the door had been locked. Desperate students using their cell phones in their final moments to call their parents. It's not known how the blaze began, but there are some reports that security guards may have fled the scene and even stopped people from escaping. 5 people are being questioned by police. David?
James Longman with us tonight. Thank you, James. Next tonight, the new and alarming headline for many is Facebook keeping track of your phone calls and your text messages. It turns out it depends on what kind of phone you have and what you've clicked in your profile. Here's ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, tonight.
Tonight, Facebook under fire. The FTC now investigating the company's privacy practices, and 37 attorneys general turning up the heat, demanding the social network updates users with easier ways to control their accounts.
This was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened.
CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologizing last week after the private data of 50 million users was allegedly collected by the firm Cambridge Analytica.
Our responsibility now is to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Over the weekend, even taking out full-page ads in newspapers across the country. We have a responsibility to protect your information. If we can't, we don't deserve it. And tonight, more questions about all that information Facebook has been collecting. The company now acknowledging Messenger and Facebook Lite users with Android phones who've uploaded contacts and chosen to opt in had their call and text history logged. Like Dylan McKay, posting to Twitter what appears to be a full call log from his phone, which dates back years.
This is really going to rattle